Hello everybody, Jordan Lorenz welcoming you from Wildwood Park as the Sheboygan A's look to expand on their already great weekend. It started off yesterday, a pair of wins over this Kenosha squad. It was a doubleheader yesterday in Kenosha, a doubleheader today here in Sheboygan. The finals yesterday, 7-4 in the first game, 7-0 in the second game. It was really great pitching throughout. Brad Reinflesh, 11 strikeouts in a complete game in game number one, and then only 2 hits allowed from Joey Pettit in game two, as he also goes a complete game, striking out 10 in that one. Eric Schmitz takes the mound for Sheboygan here in game one of the doubleheader. Let's take a look at the lineup for Kenosha. They lead off with Danny Hahn, number 8, their shortstop. Number 12, Drew Knet at third base. Number 22, Riley Hughes, their designated hitter. He's batting a .355 on the year, leading the team with their lineup so far today. Tony Newman takes the cleanup spot. Center fielder, number 24, Logan Skulik. In left field, number 2, Aaron Schauer, their right fielder, number 16, Mickey Schoer, as doing the catching. He wears the number 4, Tyler Newman. So we got Tyler and Tony Newman once again back at it for Kenosha. Tyler, he wears the number 3, plays first base. And then Ben Rossi at the 9 hole. He's 0 for 2 at the plate so far this year. He is their second baseman, wears the number 6. We had a bit of a shakeup in the Wisconsin State League standings after some of the games yesterday. Lombard lost their first State League games of the year. Lombard actually went 0-2 in a doubleheader against West Allis. The Nationals won 4-3 and 4-2 in those games. Lombard stays atop for now. They're 9-2 overall in the State League, with Burlington and West Allis right behind. Burlington is 8-3. West Allis is 8-5, and Addison, they haven't played this weekend, but they're not too far behind either. They have a 7-6 record. Good for Sheboygan. Green Bay lost yesterday, so Sheboygan was able to leapfrog them. The A's are now 5-8, with Green Bay at 4-7. Kenosha, the team the A's are playing obviously here today, they are just 2-12, and they all allow a league highest 124 runs in league play. That comes out to 8-point average runs per game. The next closest to that 124 allowed is Green Bay with 86. So it's quite a big discrepancy between those two. Schmitz getting ready to deal his first pitch of the game. Danny Hahn up to the plate. We get ready for pitch number 1. Mike Martin, you got a weather report for us at first pitch? It's in there for a strike.
69 degrees at game time. The skies are hazy, and the wind is blowing out pretty good towards the left field. Our umpires today, we have Eric Johnson and Peyton Kelling. One thing the fans can look forward to later on in the game, maybe around the 4th inning or so, we'll have our trivia question. They're both, for both games we'll have one, but they're both a little bit father-related, given that it's Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, yes indeed, to everyone, as Hans flies out to right field as we now take a look at the Sheboygan A's defense here for game number 1. Obviously, Schmitz taking them out. It'll be Hunter Stager in his 8th game played this year, actually. Stager only 5 ABs, but this is his 8th game played, it says, for the A's squad. He's doing the catching. Jimmy Jurgensen is at first. Ross Christ at second. Jacob Neese at third. Playing short will be Riley Palmquist, as this is a little grounder to Palmquist. Can he get there? Diving effort. He cannot, and that's a base hit for Drew Knet. That'll bring up Riley Hughes, the designated hitter, to finish off the lineup for Sheboygan. And outfield going left to right, we have Gus Walker, Jonathan Kim, he's playing center, and then Brady Zach Risen out there in right field. A little bit of a redemption game for Jonathan Kim yesterday in the doubleheader. He had an RBI in game number 1. Brady Zach Risen and Kim had RBIs in last game. Is Kim still transitioning to this A's squad? First pitch for Schmitz in there for a strike. This is his 5th game played so far this year, making his 4th start. He has one complete game. That was against Kenosha in the State League. He allowed just 1 run in that ball game as the A's were able to win 4-1. He had 7 strikeouts in that game. This is the big key, though. 19 strikeouts to 2 walks. A huge ratio in that department, and just a 1.96 ERA. 6 runs allowed, 4 of them earned, as this one will be hit back foul. Only allowed 12 hits coming into the contest. That'll be his 13th that he gave up to Drew Knet, as it's Riley Hughes, the DH, batting .355, up now at the plate.
A pitch before that last one looked like it was very close, and Schmitty gave the umpire a gaze in, thought it should have been called. Didn't matter. as Hughes goes down swinging for the second out. That brings up Tony Newman.
One of the two Newmans we'll see here today. Both of the Newmans start with the letter T. Keep that in mind as we move on. Tony Newman, we have him at a .091 batting average in the cleanup spot.
I didn't mention this because he got up and finished his at-bat so quickly, but another guy that had two lines that we needed to add together was Hughes.
Oh, he also had two, huh?
Yeah, and he was hitting, after I figured it out, he was hitting 216.
Okay, so the 355 definitely moved on.
No, not him. It was a different guy.
Oh, a different guy, okay.
Danny Hahn.
Danny Hahn, got it, the leadoff batter.
Yeah, the leadoff batter.
Going to be second base now, able to get there on a little bit of a drop pass ball, I should say, to the right, drop down in front. Runner on second now in scoring position. 2 outs in the inning, not like a double play would have mattered.
Yeah, we're going to give him a stolen base because he was running on the pitch.
He was going anyways, yeah. Just low to make the count 3-0.
One thing we mentioned this the last time Eric Schmitz pitched is that he pitches at a good pace. He's confident out there, and not a lot of messing around on the mound.
Not a lot of wasted motion.
Ball and throws. Yep.
Finds the outside corner for a strike to make the count 3-1. Trying to fight from behind, Tony Newman.
Palmquist still trying to clean off his uniform from that base hit out to center field.
This one's going to drop in right, but the runner is going to be held at third. It'll be runners at the corners. That's a smart job to hold Drew over at third base. One dropped very, very shallow right in front of Zach Risen over in right. No need to force anything now if you're Kenosha. You just try and get on the board early. As they did yesterday in the first inning, the A's scored 1 in the top half of the first in game number 1, but they allowed 3 runs in that bottom half. They came back from behind 3-1 to get that 7-4 win as it's Lowen Skulik up now at the plate.
Yeah, he's limited at bats, Jason, only 1 for 4. Not a lot of history for us to look at in terms of his performance. Infield is deep at all positions, except for Jimmy holding the runner at first.
Can get that force at first or second as there's a big swing and a miss from Logan. Evens up the count at 1-1. Doubleheader yet here today. The A's will have off tomorrow before they host Appleton right here on Tuesday. So there's another beautiful breaking pitch.
Yeah.
That game in the NEW League, so a little bit of a break from Wisconsin State League play.
I know you kept some stats or wrote down some things about yesterday's 2 games. Any information? Oh, no, another base
This is
hit.
going to get down out in center. A run will score. And Schmitz, only giving up 4 earned runs on the year, gives up his 5th early in this one. Your question
Any information on how many strikeouts the A's had committed? You know, like we talked about that game against...
yeah, I know what you're saying. I didn't write that down, but they had struck out 19 times.
Yeah, against Burlington. So it's interesting to see if they were able to... they had to do better than that in that doubleheader yesterday.
Even if they would have struck out 19 times in 2 games, it still would have been a lot. But
yeah,
certainly don't think they reached that yesterday as the ball comes in for 1-0, but it's a 1-0 lead for Kenosha early on in their first game of our doubleheader. A's beat Kenosha all 3 times they've played them this year. They were 4-2 last year and 3-0 the year prior as Schmitty gets it in there for a 1-1 count.
Eric giving up an not unprecedented, but certainly not very often, 3 hits in 1 inning. Don't see that from Eric very often.
Absolutely not. You come into the game only allowing 12 hits in 18 1/3 innings. We saw that struggle the other day, though, from Sheboygan when they played here. 4 runs given up in the first, 3 runs given up in the second. Coons eventually settled in.
I think that 3 runs in that second inning.
Little blooper
Jimmy
drops out there, and they're going to send the runner from third. Hold up at first and third, but it's a 2-0 lead. Just a little blooper right over the head of Jimmy Jurgensen, and it's a 2-0 Kenosha lead. Luck on their side as that one was able to drop in grass.
Skulik saw it wasn't going to be caught, and he was on the move with 2 outs anyway. I think Jimmy actually thought he had a chance at it at first, but just a little too high.
That'll bring up Mikey Shore as he fouls this one out. Got a great jump with Skulig over at third, but there are 2 outs, so he's running on anything.
Want to get this third out. You don't want to give him any more, obviously. I wasn't too worried when they scored the 1 run, but we don't want to give them any more.
Another foul back off, make it 0-2.
Shore is up there swinging, huh?
Yes, he is. They are attacking Eric Schmitz early in this ball game. With a 4-0 record as Schmitz. Here we go on the 0-2. Breaking pitch stays high. Kept the camera on this angle, as you can see over at third. Logan, I should say, he is getting quite a big lead.
Yeah, Skuglik's not afraid. Steger not afraid to throw down either.
Got him, swing and a miss. That'll end the top half of the first, but a little bit of damage done from Kenosha. 4 hits, 2 runs come in. It's 2-0 Kings lead as we head to the bottom half of the first.
Air conditioning, keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
When a Bud Light legend comes back, they do it carrying a squeaky beach chair, an inflatable dolphin, and a cooler full of perfectly chilled Bud Lights on hot sand, wearing only one flip-flop. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. It's time to take summer by the coolers.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Time for the bottom half of the first inning as we get a look at Sheboygan's bats for this first time. We'll take a look at their lineup. Gus Walker remains in the 1 spot. Ross Christ at second. Harry still designated hitter here in game number 1 of the doubleheader. The DH for the A's moves up to the 3 spot for one of the first times all year. Brady Zach Risen is the Northwoods Chemical cleanup hitter. Jacob Neese 5th, Jonathan Kim 6th, Jimmy Jurgensen, Hunter Stager, and Riley Palmquist make up the 7, 8, 9, but Brandon Jeffrey is the man. They will be facing the Kenosha Kings pitcher, 23 2/3 innings in 6 games so far. He started 4 of those 6, has a 1-5 record, giving up 48 hits, 29 earned runs, 32 in total, a 22-10 strikeout to walk ratio, but the big key is his inflated ERA of 11.028. The A's would love to jump on that early. Burlington and Green Bay, the only other state league games going on today. They'll be playing a doubleheader. Burlington beat Green Bay 10-8 in yesterday's ball game. Those games actually go on at the same time as ours, roughly 1 and 3:30. But 2 more losses for Green Bay would be huge and definitely help out Sheboygan a lot as they try and move up in the standings. Gus Walker going to start the lead for Sheboygan here today. Eric Schmitz, uncharacteristic, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs in the top half of the first. First pitch for Jeffrey. Off the slow windup, Walker takes a crack at it, and that's going to drop for a base hit. What a start for the A's. First pitch swinging for Gus Walker as he reaches with a single.
That's a good sign. Hopefully it can get to Jeffrey right away and get that lead erased and come back and grab the lead. Last time we saw Rossi, he had a very tough game. Struck out 3 times, all of them on a called strikeout variety.
There was a lot of strikeouts the last time we saw him, to say the least.
Yeah, a lot of them were called, too, which is quite surprising.
And 3 of them were dropped as well.
Yeah, there's another one, dropped third strike, that they had to be thrown out at first.
Chris, the lefty, on the 1-0, evens up at 1-1. Harry Stelt coming up next. Great guy to have with some players on base. They got the lead off and Gus Walker on.
Yeah, Walker taking a pretty good lead out there. Jumps to a nice secondary lead. Not swung at by Ross, so he goes back to the bag.
We'll keep an eye on Walker here with the far camera as the count is a 2-1.
Taking a look at Tim Moyer. He's got his arms folded. I don't know if that's a sign or not.
Sign of frustration maybe as Chris hits it out into left field, moving back on it, and eventually making the catch out there is Logan Skulig, but he had to work for that one.
I was going to say it didn't look like it was going to go that far, but when you look at the flag, the wind is blowing very hard. Too bad he couldn't have got it up a little bit more. He might have been able to get it over his head.
That's where you want to hit it. Over in left field should carry well today as Harry Stelt comes to the play. 1 on, 1 out for Harry.
Kenosha taking their second baseman and moving him over to the left. Not quite behind second base, but definitely a big opening on the right side of the infield between the first baseman and the second baseman.
First pitch to Harry in there for ball 1, and he walked twice. 2 walks for Harry in game number 2 yesterday, the 7-0 win. Didn't really produce any runs, but he was getting on base. That's what you love to see from a veteran player. The 1-0 pitch comes, and that is a beautiful pitch inside. Took a little off it. And
Moyer flashing some signs at third. Let's see if the A's have anything on this pitch.
Now motion over at first base as it drops in for a ball. Gus Walker got the leadoff hit here. He had 2 hits in the first game yesterday. So a very nice start in the leadoff.
Mikey Shore behind the plate for Kenosha made a nice stop on that outside pitch.
Also had 2 hits in game 2 as well, so 4 hits for Walker yesterday. That's his 5th. Harry a little late on this pitch, but it gets down in right field. Should indeed send in Walker. Tim Moyer waving him around, and this is going to be a Harry Stelt stand-up double. What could be a triple for some other players is an RBI double for Harry Stelt, and the A's are back within 1.
I don't know if you watched Harry round the bag at first. It's like, oh yeah, stand-up double. Like you said, some of the other runners are out of that box thinking triple right away.
But he is just breezing to second base. He knows there's no chance to go to 3, so he's going to take his time getting from first to second as Brady Zach Risen comes up as the A's have 2 hits already off of Brandon Jeffrey, and they're now only trailing 2-1.
Great piece of hitting by Harry, too, to go down the line on that outside pitch.
Little grounder over to Danny Hahn, and he makes the throw to first, getting a quick second out here in the inning. Jacob Neese coming up next.
Jacob's a good guy to have up in this position, especially with his ability to pull the ball.
That's what we saw Harry do to get the RBI.
Well, Harry went the other way, but I'm thinking Jacob, if he can pull it to left, Brandon, with the wind blowing out.
Sure.
Maybe he could send one over the fence.
Ball drops in front of Mikey behind the plate. Jumps ahead 1-0 in the count.
Infield deep for Kenosha, looking to get this third out. One of my favorite sayings with the 2-out situation. One up the middle.
Will get through the infield. It will not, and it should be another 6-3 ground out. Yes, indeed. You can keep that saying for the second inning as the A's get on board. Now 2-1 as we head to inning number 2.
You can. Just order ahead in the Meijer app.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan. What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Grilled cheese, the special here at the concession stand. Come on down. Not too late. We got a whole game and a half basically yet to go. Meyer Family Day, you can bring the kids on down as well. 12 and under, free general admission ticket. They can run the bases after the second game. They can also get autographs here after game 1, as is the 8-hole Tyler Newman, a 155 average. Number 3, plays in the 3rd position. He would lead off the 2nd inning. First pitch swinging way late on it.
Yeah, Schmitty with a good fastball. In that game the other night when we were here and Kenosha was...
cracks this one back to left field, and it's going to be moving
Walker.
back. Ooh, making a jumping catch out there, Walker. I thought that was going to go pretty far back. Kind of got a bad jump, but made a jumping catch out in left field to get out number 1. Made it look easy.
I think he realized he wasn't going to retreat on it and catch it. He had to make the leap.
That one gets over his head. That's danger, but a great save there as Schmitz now has 1 out, no one on.
Just as I was about to say, Tyler Newman had trouble at the bat the first game around. The other night, he spanked that one pretty good.
Rossi takes strike 1. Again, Ben Rossi just 0 of 2 we have him for this year. Schmitz working very quick, as Mike Martin said earlier on, but that's a ball, so evens up at 1-1.
That's Schmitty's M.O., working quick.
Rossi barely gets that swing of the bat before Schmitz has the next pitch thrown, and it's 1-2 just like that. See if he can settle in after a distraught inning number 1. Only gave up 2 runs, though. A's gave him some runs, sporting a bad swing and miss on a low ball, too. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning. We go back to the top of the order with Danny Hahn.
Hahn flew out to right his first time up. Rossi way behind that fastball. Be interesting to see if Schmidt sticks with that pitch. You remember the other night against Burlington, their starter found that he had success with the curveball and just kept going to it.
Kept riding that breaking ball. It was a strikeout heavy night for the A's, and there's another one in for a strike. We saw Newman late on a first pitch strike. Rossi very late on that strikeout pitch. And I'm going to watch a breaking pitch and a swing and a miss from Hahn. Makes it 0-2. Schmidt's really attacking the zone here in the 2nd inning. No wasted motion. Everything has a purpose.
2 quick outs in the inning also.
Here we go on the 0-2. Got him again late on a fastball. That's the Eric Schmitz we know as we head to the bottom half of inning number 2. Score remains 2-1.
January, February, into March and April. Same way through. Every single second, every hour. All the whole year through.
It is intense right here.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's a lot of lemons.
Well, you know what they say when life gives you lemons.
We know the saying, Mark.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, Tea Time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
The A's come into this game having won 5 of their last 8, 3 of their last 4, and it would be huge, a weekend sweep, going 4-0 against Kenosha. That would put them at 7-8, just one game behind 500 in Wisconsin State League play, and it would jump them to 14-10 overall. They were well above 500 earlier in the year, but then after a little bit of struggles in league play, they bounced right back to that 500 mark, and now it's all about winning and trying to get back up. And it's a team again like Kenosha, bottom of the barrel. This is a team you're supposed to win against, and they're falling behind 1 here, but 2 wins yesterday. They're looking good now, and they try and improve on it with Jonathan Kim.
In last year's series matchup, Sheboygan went 4-2 against Kenosha. So far in this year's series are 3-0, like Jordan said, trying to take away a doubleheader and go 5-0 on the season against this Kenosha Kings team.
All of the times they've played Kenosha, it has been 7-inning games. That is also something interesting to note as a ball comes in. They played them in the Challenge. That was their first game, 11 o'clock, first game here actually at Wildwood Park. They got that win. Then the doubleheaders, play just 7-inning doubleheaders. So you play a team 5 times in the Wisconsin State League throughout the course of a year, and just so happened that all 5 of those times they played Kenosha, it was 7 innings instead of 9.
Well, we had those games early in the season. They all seemed to be here at Wildwood, but how many times wasn't Sheboygan actually the visitor?
Yeah, there was quite a few as Kim gets a rip into right center, actually, and it'll drop in for a single. Good to see Jonathan Kim getting his groove back. This brings up Jimmy Jurgensen.
Kim is the kind of guy I wouldn't be surprised if he's going early in the count. He's has very good speed. I think he's got a pretty good sense of base stealing. He's 4 for 10 on the year now, Kim is.
Struggled the other night, but he's working back up towards it. It's Jurgensen in the 7-hole. Another leadoff runner for Sheboygan. Gus Walker had the leadoff single in the first, and now Kim leadoff single here in the bottom half of inning number 2.
He has a good lead right now. There
He's
he
going.
goes.
First pitch running. It's a high fastball, and he is in there safe. Really great throw, though, from Sure behind the plate. However, the speed of Jonathan Kim gets him in there for a stolen base.
Good
he
call
got a great
by Coach
jump.
Moyer. Do we have a connection with him? Him and I? Something about
Stealing bases?
Send him, Tim.
He probably is listening to the game, actually, down there. He's probably got some AirPods in, listening to us. As there's a nice breaking pitch to even it up at 1. Now Kim in scoring position for Jurgensen. Still no outs in the inning. Good to see the A's aggressive as they're down 1.
Jimmy with great power. Wind not helping him, though, in this game, blown out to left.
There's a crack on it, but got a little bit under it. And it will be a routine fly out in left field to Logan Skulig.
Yeah, not very hard hit that time.
Hunter
Steger up, though.
Yeah,
He's got good power.
Has good power. This is his 3rd season here with Sheboygan. So we'll see what he can do. He doesn't get a whole lot of ABs. He's kind of one of those catchers as the A's rotate him out in doubleheaders.
Hunter, a pretty smart guy. I remember helping Sheboygan Public Education Foundation hand out scholarships at scholarships.
There's a rip, and will it? Yes, indeed, it does stay fair. Hunter Steger, his first career RBI with the A's, and it is a 2-2 ball game as he makes it into second base safely.
Way to go, Hunter. Finishing the story, handing out these scholarships. Hunter was there, and he received a couple scholarships on the night, so he's a pretty smart guy, and showed his smarts there, keeping it to the right side of the foul line.
And I do have a correction. He did have an RBI in the 2020 season, so his second career RBI had 1 RBI in his 2 hits back in 2020. But the moral of the story, this is a tie ball game with Riley Palmquist, a great 9-hitter, fouls that one back. Just a little bit below him behind.
Jordan, does that mean you lose your perfect game?
I guess I do, huh?
That's too bad.
That's tough.
Up in the press box, we got Bill Wagner back from his stint over at the Elks Club the other night. We missed him.
Did we?
CJ, of course. Did we? Bill, I missed you. CJ running the audio enhancements and cutting people down.
He's running the iPad again today, too.
Yeah, he's back in his element. Then, of course, Jordan Lorenz and myself.
1-1 count to Riley. Might have been a broken bat hit as it drops in, and it will be an out, but it advances. Hunter Stager over to third with 2 outs in the inning as Gus Walker returns to the plate. He's got 5 hits in 3 games this weekend so far.
Walker got a base hit his first time up. I think it was first pitch hitting, too.
It was first swing, swung right at Brandon Jeffrey, attacked him, and we'll see what Walker can do. With Stager on third, 2 outs in the inning. Both teams knotted up at 4 hits for each of them.
Center fielder pretty deep.
Does not attack this first pitch. Oh, but they're going to throw back down to third. Did they get him? No, he couldn't field it cleanly.
If
Dangerous.
he caught it, he was definitely out. Stager wasn't expecting that.
No, he did not expect it at all. And now he's got himself a dirty white jersey for the rest of the day. But he barely got back in there. What a heads-up play by Mickey Shore behind the plate, though. Very true. You don't have to worry about him, yeah, with Walker being a lefty. That throw to third a lot easier. Swings at the second pitch,
doing
comes up
some
empty.
analysis work from his cheap seat over there in the middle, telling us that having Walker be a left-handed batter made the throw down to third much easier for the catcher. And I hate to say it, but he was right.
The 0-2 pitch now to Walker. Check swing. Did he go? Catcher thinks he does. They're going to check out to the second umpire. They say no. We thought he did.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. CJ and I
was close
thought so.
for sure.
Mikey sure thought so as well. He was heading back to the dugout.
2 strikes on Walker. Get one more chance.
He survives on the check swing. That did not go. There's a delayed call from the umpire as well. Here we go. Another breaking pitch, stays high, swinging, undercutting it back, foul. There's a play yesterday in the Brewer game. Tyrone Taylor made a diving catch out in left, and they said he dropped it, but he was running back to the dugout. He knew all the way. They challenged, and yep, sure enough, he caught it, but that's what we were seeing from Mikey there.
Too, I see.
They did indeed win. I mean, you're playing Cincinnati. You should win, but hey, Jason Alexander got his first career win as it's now 2-2 the count.
Cubs even won yesterday, 1-0.
A low-scoring game.
Miracles never cease, Bill says.
There's a crack into left field. Moving up on it is Logan Skulik, and he will make the catch. However, the A's jump on board and tie it up at 2. They've got a run in both innings so far as we head to the third.
Like our cool water personal hand sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Last year's financial year, excuse me.
Sometimes you need to get out.
The great outdoors.
Free pickup's easy. Just order ahead in the Meijer app.
As we watch the end of musical chairs, who will win? They both got down. Oh boy, we have a tie. Oh, we're gonna redo it. Musical chairs part 2. My goodness. All the action you're missing out if you're not here at the ballpark.
Doing a great job down there for musical chairs. Sheila, Nia's here today. We got our full crew of interns at the ballpark.
Full crew for the doubleheader as Drew Knack gets ready to lead off here in the top half of the third inning. Game 2 will start anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. after game one concludes as there's a first pitch swing and back foul.
Gannett led off the hit parade in inning number 1. He was the first of 4 Kings players to get base hits. He singled and scored. Had a stolen base in there, too.
Very efficient second inning as this one will go towards third base. Jacob Neese territory, but it bounces foul, and it's an 0-2 count again. Eric Schmitz ahead early in these counts. It's a long run down in left field to achieve that foul ball. Here we go on the 0-2. Ooh, did it hit him? Yes, it did.
Good job
Just
of hanging
clocked
in
him
by
on the
Knecht.
left arm. That's a good pitch to get hit on, at least if you're a hitter. A breaking ball coming in nice and slow. You saw 2 A's players get hit in the head the other night against Burlington.
Oh, that's scary.
That was not good. Harry Stout was one of those, but he wasn't happy.
But in both instances, the ball was okay.
That's all that matters, right? Balls are expensive nowadays. Riley Hughes with 1 on, no out, following the hit by a pitch, and the outside strike is indeed called. Schmidt's getting a lot of good
I guess the moral of the story with the leadoff hitter is if you're going to throw a waste pitch with a no ball, 2 strike count, make it a pitch outside.
Last thing you want to do is hit him, yeah. Don't give him a free bag when you're up 0-2. Count is 1-1 here in this at bat to Hughes. They're going to check back down to first. Good quick throw from Schmitz, but he made it back in time. Net Hughes and Newman due up here in this inning. For Kenosha as the 1-1 pitch comes in, and it's a little bit inside. 2-1. Designated hitter gets himself ahead in the count. Both DHs in the 3 spot here in this game. We've been keeping an eye all year long on where those are, and we've seen a pair of DHs in the 9 actually in one game, and now both up in 3. That's kind of where you'd expect it a bit more.
I think we've had more DHs in the 9th spot than we have in the, well, I'll even expand it to the 3rd and 4th spot. That's the banger we were looking for.
I don't know if we've ever seen a DH in the 4 spot this year. Maybe once or twice, but hasn't been common.
No, for sure.
2-2 is the count following the big bang above us on a foul ball.
Everybody in the press box is okay.
Hughes going to clock this one. It will make it there safely, and they're going to hold up. Number 12, Drew Knet at second. Good decision, as that was a great throw. However, runners on first and second. Schmitz in a similar situation he was in inning number 1.
He got Hughes in the first inning, too, striking him out. That brings up Newman, who had a base hit and scored.
Little bit of inconsistency from Schmitz, which we aren't used to seeing, as it's now Newman, the cleanup hitter. He's got 2 on, no outs. That was the 5th hit of the game for Kenosha. Clocked it out in right center. Teasing bunt, lays it down. It's a great bunt. The throw to first from Hunter, a little bit high. They're going to send the runner home. Can he get back in time? He does, and they got him.
Oh, wow, what a play.
Hunter Stager heads up, able to get back in time. And that's a tough situation for Kenosha, as now they have 2 outs in the inning. Runner on second, a risky send. They thought it was going to pay off. They thought they could take advantage of Stager, but they cannot. And also, what a throw by Jurgensen to realize that and get it back in time. My goodness.
You know who may have made the best player of all of them?
Tell me.
Schmitz, staying the hell out of the way.
Get out of the way.
You're right, though. That was a really nice play by, oh, man.
But this one's going to clock. They're going to send the runner. No, they're going to hold him up, and a good hold indeed, as there's runners on the corners. First pitch swinging for Logan Skulik.
I was going to say Jimmy Jurgensen, like you called, made a really nice play recognizing, and I'm sure we didn't hear it up here in the press box, but there had to be a lot of talking on the field about throwing it back.
Absolutely, you would have had to assume so, and even just with that bunt, laying it down as a communication between Schmitz and Stager as to who is going to get that ball and throw down to first. But that's in the past. Now we reset. 6th hit of the game for Kenosha. Comes at an opportune time. It lets Aaron Schauer get ready to go. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. First pitch gets a strike call, as the A's are looking to get that force at first or second and prevent the runner from third coming on in. One of the best defensive plays we've seen all along for Sheboygan all year long is the defense that haunted them in that Lombard game. A few throws
that
from Riley
inning was terrible.
Palmquist. Yes. It was all in the 8th inning when they needed their defense the most. Now their defense keeps it knotted in 2 on the 0-2 pitch. Schmitz gets some swing and jammed them. And that'll drop off the garage and bounce way back.
You got Hughes on at third and Skolig over at first.
Hopefully Schmitz
Shower
can
a
keep him
single
there.
inner run his first time up.
Willie, this time is the question. Good stop from Steger behind the plate on the low and outside ball. 1-2 now the count.
Skolig seems to have pretty good speed over at first. It's surprising they haven't sent him yet.
He is having quite a big lead right now. Doesn't go this time either, and ball 2 stays high. Count evens up at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 2 Kenosha, 2 Sheboygan. Sadly, we're not in the second inning, though. We're in the third.
You know what that means, Jordan? Deuces are wild.
They are. Here we go, 2-2. Schmitz had him 0-2, now evened up at 2, and did they get him? Yes, indeed, they did. 2-2, the score remains following the beautiful play from Jurgensen, and Steger will keep it all knotted up as we get ready for the A's to try and take the lead.
I've never really been into this sappy, corny, mushy garbage.
You know what? I'm going for it.
You are completely and utterly
Awesome. Great.
I'm glad you showed up.
In my life.
I could never get through this world without you. You are really close to my heart.
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
Every single time I
Get down! Get down!
There you are.
you always have
My back! My back! I'm so glad you're alive.
It's like all these tiny little things.
Yes, things.
Are serious and kind of important.
You gotta hold it like a baby bird.
And
Please be quiet.
listen, you hear that?
That's a little something I like to call
Friendship.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Let me start us. Let's go back to that inning where Kenosha got the double play on the bunt attempt. I thought the decision to send the guy from second all the way around to third was a good one. Try to catch Sheboygan off, not paying attention. Didn't work. But my greater point is that when you have a team that's struggling to win ball games, things like that happen.
Exactly.
And, we saw it happen here. Hopefully the A's can capitalize and grab the lead here and go on and win the game.
Well, and that's kind of...
I don't fault Kenosha for
No, I was going to say not at all. And when you're facing a guy like Eric Schmitz, and I'm sure they've seen him before, they have actually earlier in the year, they know he's very, very good. And you just got to take advantage of every opportunity you can. No fault for them to trying to send the runner, catch the A's off guard, but it was great defense. And now it's Ross Christ, Stelt, Zach Risen for Sheboygan to try and put him up here in this game. The A's have yet to lead. They trailed 2-0 after the top half of the first. They got down to 2-1 in the first, and they scored in the second to even it up at 2. Ross Christ, I should say, absolutely nails it into right center. We've seen a lot of hits out there so far today. That one had a beautiful exit velocity. Would love to see that speed from MLB Advanced Stats as Harry Stelt.
Did
up
you bring
next.
your exit velocity tool, Jordan? I forgot mine at home.
I would love to see that. That one was hit very, very hard off the bat. I'm sure they're cheap. No big deal, right? They can't be that expensive.
Well, maybe the club would buy us one.
Yeah, right. Maybe someone will donate out there.
Comes Harry, who hit that double down the right field line.
3 straight innings of leadoff runners on for Sheboygan. That's always a great sign. I believe it was Walker in the first, Kim in the second, and now Chris here in the third as Harry hits this one, and it will be caught. I got a little too far in on it was Aaron Schauer, but he was able to make the catch, a little bit of a hop on it.
And here he hit it just a little too hard.
That'll bring up the Northwoods Chemical cleanup hitter, Brady Zach Risen. Zach Risen. He grounded out rather early in his first at-bat in inning number 1. Six hits now in the game for Kenosha, and that hit for Ross, that was the A's 5th. As takes
Ross
ball
not
one
taking a real big lead over at first base. And Tim Moyer not flashing any signs over in the third base coach's box, so I don't expect Ross to be stealing.
Oh. Just as you say it, there he goes, and he's in there safely. You had like a reverse.
Tim's got to be listening up here because he heard me say that, and he said, "We're
you had like
a
reverse jinx or something going on there." You said, "Oh, I don't think he was going to go," and it was like a sign for him to go.
What
second stolen base for the A's.
What made me think he wasn't going to run was he wasn't taking a real big lead, but
and I think that was part of the trick to throw him off.
Yeah, I think you're right.
2-2 game, runner on second, just 1 out. Big time AB for the Northwoods Chemical cleanup hitter. A's would love nothing less but to send that runner in. And it's inside again. Count jumps to 3-0. Hitters count for Zach Risen. Green light?
Probably. And you're tied up.
Only 1 out.
Of course, it'd be nice to get Nice up with the runners on first and second.
They did not give him the green light, and it was a delayed strike call inside.
Ross Chris now got his uniform dirty also.
Yeah, a lot of dirty white uniforms so far today. Means you're trying. It means you care. It means you're doing well, and that stays up high. A walk.
Very close.
Yes. You always know when the catcher holds it there a little bit longer, they're waiting for that call, and 9 times out of 10, they don't get it.
You can tell, too, after how many seconds, finally the catcher threw it back to the pitcher, and the pitcher's glaring in there. He wanted to call.
There was a really delayed call in the Brewer game the other day. It was like, I don't think it was a full count, but it was just a very, very delayed strike call behind the plate. And Chris going to take third, double steal action, but Nice got way out ahead of it. That would have been picture perfect, double stolen base. However, left for naught as it stands.
I remember umpiring an A's game. This is many years ago. One of the all-time A's great, Lee Wettencap, was playing at the time. He's in the dugout, and I'm behind home plate. And I gave a delayed call. I could hear Lee yell out, "Come on, Marty, call it in this century."
Sometimes it just happens that way.
Yeah.
Brain doesn't process as fast as that's another foul ball. This one goes out to right field, and Nice finds himself down 0-2.
We have any regular listeners to these broadcasts, they already know that about me.
Yeah, they do.
Don't be so willing to...
They're like, that's nothing new. It's always easier to just agree.
Yes.
0-2 count to Nice. So he was ahead of one and behind on another. And this one, they kind of jammed him. It's going to drop down in foul territory right into the glove of the first baseman, Tyler Newman.
Oh, you got it.
Got to figure out those Newmans. A missed opportunity there with the, you go back to that first pitch. Maybe it was a hit and run, maybe it wasn't, but it was a double steal, and Chris had a picture-perfect jump. Runners are at first and second now instead of in second and third.
Given the way the out played out, it wouldn't have mattered if they'd be on second and third.
True, because it was just a little, yeah. Either way, Kim is first pitch swinging. This one going out to left, and it's going to drop in the glove of the shortstop, Danny Hahn, who made quite a run for it. It dropped somewhere, that's for sure. The score remains 2-2 as we head to the fourth.
Invented modern air conditioning? Keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
When a Bud Light legend comes back, They do it carrying a squeaky beach chair, an inflatable dolphin, and a cooler full of perfectly chilled Bud Lights on hot sand, wearing only one flip-flop. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. It's time to take summer by the coolers.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up here in the top half of the 4th inning. Good news for Eric Schmitz as he ended up working out of a jam in the 3rd inning. Things didn't start out for him too well, but he managed to make his way out of it, and he's actually going to start pitching before the Margarina song stop playing, but it misses for a ball outside.
Mikey Shore was a strikeout victim to end the 1st inning. If I remember correctly, he was very late on a fastball, and Eric started him off with a fastball there.
Well, he isn't the first player to be late on a fastball as he takes that one to make the count 1-1. The A's failed to take a 3-2 lead in that 3rd inning. That ended their streak of scoring a run in every inning as, my goodness, was he way ahead of a breaking ball. Set him up perfectly now for the 1-2. And he hammers this one into center field. Moving in on it is Kim, and he will make a little bit of a jump. A lot of little jumping catches out there today, but he makes the catch nonetheless.
At least he caught it with 2 hands.
He did catch it with 2 hands, yes. Jonathan Kim, one of the newcomers for this A's squad, still trying to get his repetitions, settle in. And this will bring up Tyler Newman. 11 combined hits in the ball game so far, 6 for Kenosha, 5 for Sheboygan, as Newman is laid on that one and clocks it back off the net.
In the 2nd inning, the 8 and 9 hitters for Kenosha both made out pretty easily, actually. I take that back. Tyler Newman hit that ball to left field that Walker was able to leap up and catch.
Oh, the jumping catch,
that
yes.
Yeah, and we were commenting about his low batting average, but certainly didn't look like he had a low batting average when he hit that ball.
Oh, that one fooled him as it came inside and then dropped in the picture-perfect spot. He's now down 1-2. He's making good contact so far, that's for sure, and he hits this one in foul territory out past Jacob Neese. 1-2 remains the count. You know, the A's, they love themselves their good starting pitchers. They had 2 complete games yesterday between Reinflesch and Pettit. They would love nothing more than for Schmitz to go all 7 in this one as well.
Do we know who's starting game 2 for us?
Swing and a miss on a dropped 3rd strike. We'll get that answer in a second, and it is thrown for the out. CJ, who'd you say was starting game 2? Or we didn't know? We don't know. We didn't know yet for game 2.
If CJ doesn't know, Tim Moyer probably doesn't know either.
We had a very early lineup, which was good to see from both squads, actually. They were all confident in who they were going with. Kenosha, I believe they had 3 bench players listed down. So I'd guess one's a catcher and then maybe pitcher or something in there. So there's ball 1 outside, but not a very deep lineup. But Burlington, they only had 10 guys the other day, and they made do, scoring 7 runs in that 7-3 win over Sheboygan. Low pitch, called a ball. Jumping ahead 2-0 is Ben Rossi.
Rossi was a strikeout victim to back in the 2nd inning. He was the 2nd out.
Still looking for his first hit of the year. And strike is called. A little bit of a lazy arm thrown up for that strike.
I noticed that too. That might be his the technique for that particular umpire.
Might be. You never know. Swing and a miss. We don't need the call there. Evens it up at 2. Rossi looking for his first hit of the year, similar to Hunter Stager, who actually got an RBI hit for his first base hit of the year, and the 2-2 pitch is in there, swing and a miss. Bottom half of the fourth coming up, still knotted up at 2 as the A's try and take that elusive lead.
The car. With free pickup, you can. Just order ahead in the Meyer app.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
All right, so we just got a score update from Bill Wagner. Bottom half of the third, Burlington beating Green Bay 2-0 so far, and any Green Bay loss is good for Sheboygan as they're sitting right behind them at 4-7. A's are 5-8. The A's 1-1 against Green Bay this year, to my knowledge. They lost earlier in the year and then beat them 12-0 back 5 days ago, and that was a mercy rule game finished in 7 innings. Noah Emery struck out 6, only allowed 3 hits in that ball game. Reminiscent of the top half of the fourth, it's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up here. Jurgensen, Stager, and Palmquist. It's not a bad 7, 8, 9 to have for a team, that's for sure.
Definitely not. Jimmy flew out to left his first time.
And pitch number 1 coming his way from Brandon Jeffrey. Jeffrey got out of the jam in the bottom half of the third. Breaking pitch low and inside is strike 1.
Jimmy's been in a season-long slump trying to break out. He's been doing a little better lately, but not good enough to get his batting average up into a more respectable
Laid on a fastball, frustrated with himself after that one. Jimmy's been one of those guys who's moved around quite a bit in the order. We saw him in the top part for a while. Now he's moved down a bit. He's playing first base today. He does DH some games as he's laid on this fastball as well.
Stager catching a foul ball off the netting. Getting a nice round of applause from the fans.
Stager will be up next. Had that RBI double earlier on, as now it's an 0-2 hole for Jimmy. Jeffrey with a very delayed approach here. Thought he could fool him, but left it outside just barely. Very, very close for the Kings pitcher.
Yeah, I was trying to think, is Jeffrey doing a pretty good job? You know, if you base it on his stats coming into the game, he's probably not doing that bad.
He's probably exceeding expectations as there's a little grounder. Can he cover first to time? Hat falls off, but he's able to make the play.
Nice
I mean,
play
if you
by
have
Tyler Newman.
If you have an 11 ERA, you can't expect to give up 11 runs a game. Like, fans can't expect that just because you see an 11 ERA. But I think anything under 5, I would say, would probably be a good performance against a Sheboygan team that starched them and scored 7 runs against them not once but twice yesterday.
One stat that doesn't look good on the A's side is the amount of runners they've left on base. 4 already in the first 3 innings.
2 of them yesterday. Is now a little late on this, making a play on it, and a diving catch. He got it. My goodness, Tyler Newman, a little bit out of your vantage point at home, right in front of the fence where the dirt meets it, made a diving one-handed snag for the second out of an inning. Hunter Stager's at bat is over before it even got started. So bring up Riley Palmquist, the 9-hitter, just trying to get on base for Sheboygan here in the 4th inning.
Palmquist came in hitting .288. That's a pretty good batting average for a number 9 hitter.
Not bad at all.
But it'll take a 2-out rally now.
Certainly different than the 0-3 Ben Rossi on the other side for a 9-hitter. 1-0 after the low first pitch, and it's kind of hacked that one back off the top of the...
Yeah, throwing him the ultimate changeup. That came in pretty slow.
Wind still blowing out to left. It's settled down a little bit, but there's some motion. Score remains 2-2, and now a quick wind-up. Jeffrey trying to throw him off, and he left the fastball high. Top of the order coming up next for Sheboygan, if they're able to get Riley Palmquist on base.
Riley has 2 doubles, no triples, no homers.
Defensively wise, Riley would absolutely love to forget about that Lombard game. He's just got to focus on his offense. It's a slow windup from Jeffrey once again. Took a big deep breath before he threw it outside and walked him.
Well, 2-out rally, here we go.
Palmquist will indeed reach. The rally begins with 2 outs. The A's have 1 less hit than Kenosha, but the score remains 2-2. And it'll be Gus Walker, who is a first pitch swinger.
Walker 1 for 2 in the ball game. Scored a run back in the 1st inning. Scored on Harry Steltz, double right down the right field line.
Beautiful double.
Down into the corner.
Stand-up double for Harry. Throw down to first. Makes it back in time to safe. Jeffrey does have a quick pickoff move. Not the first time he's tried to do so today, and it was the real good one was Mikey's throw, catching over to third base with Drew Connett, and trying to put a bunt down with 2 outs down the third base line. Catch Drew Connett off guard, unable to do so. Did he pull back in time or not? We'll see if it was a ball or strike.
Palmquist does have 2 stolen bases. He was caught once, so he's definitely a threat. Kenosha recognizes that too. He's got a pretty nice lead over there.
He doesn't go on this pitch as it's inside, and that will drop for a single. Yes, it does. Holding up at second base is Palmquist. He wasn't able to get that good of a jump on it, even though there were 2 outs. We're all knotted up at 6 hits apiece, and it's runners on first and second for Ross Christ.
Tony Newman has a pretty good throwing arm out in center field, and he got a pretty good break on the base hit. Palmquist, of course, doing the right thing.
That was one of those where you're not too sure if the center fielder gets a good jump on it. They could probably make a dive and catch, but they just let it bounce about a foot or 2 in front of them.
Yeah, it didn't matter in that case because there were 2 outs.
There were, yes. First pitch swinging ahead of a breaking pitch as it bounces out towards the Kenosha dugout.
Chris has 13 RBIs on the young season, so he's definitely a good RBI guy. Let's see if he can come through right here.
A 1 count with 2 outs, quick from the stretch, and just missed it. Home plate umpire, I think he thought about calling it a strike, but he didn't.
Yeah, if you're a pitcher, you want to get those calls, that's for sure.
Yes, you do, and it's not like Jeffrey hasn't been throwing strikes either, so he's earned them. But that one just missed.
His only, well, I take that back. He had a walk back in the 3rd inning, and he walked a batter here in the 4th. But the first couple innings, he was right around the plate, maybe a little too much. Sheboygan collected 4 hits off of him.
I mean, he's got 22 strikeouts. That's more than 19 of Schmitz. We'll talk about Schmitz's line coming up in the 5th as the 1-2 pitch just misses. The A's faithful weren't a fan of the strike call beforehand. Here we go again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 2-2 is the score. Ross Christ would love to send in a run. Put the A's up top, throw down to second, and safe is the call.
You could see the shortstop, Hahn, trying to slip in behind the base runner, Palmquist, and not sure if they had a play called, but was reasonably close.
Trying to avoid that double steal once again that the A's put on him earlier to no avail with the foul ball. Chris Little bouncing ball over to second, and the ground out is a simple one. Making the throw is Ben Rossi. A's again leave 2 more runners on base. We'll head to the 5th inning, still all tie. Your score 2-2.
January, February, into March and April. Same way through. Every single second, every minute, every hour. All the whole year through.
It is intense right here.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's a lot of lemons.
Well, you know what they say when life gives you
We
lemons.
know the saying, Mark.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
That. 62 pitches and what is it, 7 strikeouts so far?
7 strikeouts, no walks. The only downside to Schmidt's performance so far is he has allowed 6 hits and did hit a batter.
The runs in the first inning have certainly been the big breaking point so far in this game, as it's still tied up at 2-2. The A's have yet to crank out their first lead of the game. Big misfortune is they've had the runners on base, they've had the situations, but they aren't able to get him past second or third base. Other than the first and second inning, A's come up empty with 2 on in both the third and fourth.
They're up to 6 base runners left on in these first 4 innings. Top of the 5th.
Very unfortunate, as it's Danny Hahn, the leadoff hitter, up for Kenosha. So we start the 5th inning with a ball, and he hits this one over to second, and it should be a rather routine 4-3. Ooh, he actually nearly beat it out. What's some speed from Danny Hahn, but it's a simple Chris to Jurgensen out to start the inning.
Maybe Chris was a little too nonchalant on that grounder. Get it over there.
Umpire had to get a little
way.
animated with it over at first as he cut it kind of close, and that'll bring up Drew Connett.
Drew singled and scored in the first and was hit by a pitch in the third, so he's been on base his 2 trips. So we can change that trend right here.
Strike 1 comes in. Drew wearing that long sleeve on his right hand, the elbow pad on the other. He's got the nice red on. He could be a Sheboygan A.
2 red.
2 red.
2 red. Got to be more maroon.
Got to be more maroon than red, Mike Martin says as he falls
behind. Kind of like that
0-2.
maroon from UW Lacrosse, right, Bill? I said it's got to be maroon like UW Lacrosse.
Something like. Laid on a fastball, able to stay alive at the plate.
Bill and myself both attended UW Lacrosse.
Both lacrosse graduates?
Yeah, I think we're Indians, though. Now they're Eagles.
Yeah, I believe they're Eagles, yeah. I didn't know
are.
they changed, yeah. I didn't know that.
Looks a whole lot different than when Bill and I were there.
Oh, I bet.
All to the better.
A little more expensive, too.
Like everything else.
Yeah, it is. This is a routine fly out into right and caught. Brady Zach Risen in right field here today. Ross Christ, he's at second base for this first game. We'll see what moves around between games, and if you're here, if you're not here, you can come here, and in between games, your kids can get autographs with the players. I mean, you don't have to be a kid to get an autograph. Anyone can do it.
There's a UWGB sign out there in right field.
There's
you can't hardly read it, though. You see where the cautious sign is? You get our Timber Rattlers, bank first, keep going to your right. It's the fourth sign over. It looks all white. But it says UWGB Rise, but the Rise is a little bit darker, and then as you move down, it it fades away. While from this far away,
Yeah.
you can't even read the top part of the rise.
I do see it. It's because it's white on white. I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. 2-0 is the count. Make it 2-1, swinging at a high pitch, bailing out Schmitz.
Keep chasing.
It's right next to the Stango family sign with that nice maroon color with the white. Talk about a contrast. You're able to see it at home. Swing and a miss, evens it up at 2.
Schmitty working quick.
Both teams with 2 runs and 6 hits, I should say, through 4 innings.
The reason I bring up the UWGB, that's where you go to school.
That is where I go, yes indeed. Hit to center field. Shouldn't have to make too much of a play on it as Kim a few steps out to his left. And the top half of the 5th inning ends. Score remains 2-2.
First inning.
Like our cool water personal hand sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Last year's financial year, excuse me.
Sometimes you need to get out.
The great outdoors.
Free pickup's easy. Just order ahead in the Meijer app.
The fans got to get over here and see these between inning games that human
participate in
them.
them. Yeah,
yeah, participate in them, and don't forget get your 50-50 raffle ticket and win some money.
We'll give you an update on how much that is when it's read off here relatively soon. We've had musical chairs, we've had dancing, we had the dizzy bat race.
As we were heading out to a break after Schmitty finished his top end of the 5th, it was the first inning he didn't have a strikeout, which is fine. You save on pitches.
It doesn't hurt at the end of the day. We've talked about that throughout the year. How just because you're getting strikeouts, it's not always the best thing in the world because it's making your pitch count rise. He's in great territory to get through the 6th and 7th if he keeps going like he has been these past few innings. It's the 3-4-5 for Sheboygan. Stilt, Zach Risen, and Neese, a great part of the lineup to do some damage and take the first lead of the game.
Wind still blowing out towards left, and between Harry, Zach Risen, and Neese,
it's
those right-handed batters have a pretty good pop.
It's interesting. The only team all year long we've seen put a shift on Harry Stout was the Chicago Rippers, a non-league team, kind of a random team that came to town. They had a shift on them. We haven't seen any
They did their homework.
teams. Yeah, they did. We haven't seen any teams do that. I wonder if they were watching our live streams to see.
In an earlier at bat, the second baseman for Kenosha was further over, not directly behind second base, but more towards second base. Now he's more in a traditional position, and maybe that has something to do with Harry's first hit, that double down the right field line.
There's a beautiful double as he takes the first 2 pitches and jumps
his
ahead
second
2-0.
at bat, he flew out to right, so he's going the other way.
That's where he's hitting it. Going oppo. He's got a great hitter's count to do some damage as he's ahead 2-0. And he clocks this one. Will it get through the infield? It will not. Drew's throw is there safely. First out of the inning as Harry grounds out. First time he puts the ball on the ground so far today.
Sounded like he caught that one off the end of the bat. Didn't get real good exit velocity on that one.
First out in the inning, you shrug it off, act like it never happened, and you move on. Northwood's chemical cleanup hitter time. Jeffrey deals, and it's a breaking pitch that stays high. A lot of his are just kind of staying up in the zone. He's thrown a few beautiful ones, but for the most part, they're staying up. Doesn't attack with a heater, instead goes right back with it and evens it up at 1.
Jeffrey has no strikeouts in the ball game. Sheboygan's been hitting him. He has walked a couple.
Now goes fastball. It's low in the zone. Calling it as the first baseman. Now having to move in, and making the catch is Tyler Newman. It's basically right to him. I said it was a dangerous part of the order, but it was a simple ground out and fly out. Pitch count staying low for Jeffrey as it's now Jacob Neese, and it's his turn with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 5th.
Maybe we need to get to that lower part of the order to get things going.
Maybe. And now
There's
he
a
hits
drive
this one out to left, but it's actually a terrible read on it out in left field. He, instead of going back, Skulik had to come up for it. And the 5th inning ends very, very quickly. Score remains 2-2.
I've never really been into this sappy, corny, mushy garbage.
You know what? I'm going for it. You are completely and utterly
Awesome. Great. I'm glad you showed up.
in my life.
I could never get through this world without you. You are really close to my
Heart!
I think I'm about to cry. You better not.
every single time I...
Get down, get down!
There you are. You always
My
have...
back, my back. I'm so glad you're alive.
It's like all these tiny little things...
Yes, things.
...are serious and kind of important.
You gotta hold it like a baby bird.
And...
Please be quiet.
Listen. You hear that?
That's a little something I like to call
Friendship.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Down to potentially our final 2 innings in game number 1, doubleheader. Only 7 innings in this
Better
one.
be the final 2 innings.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's a 2-2 score so far. The A's didn't leave anyone on base the last inning because they didn't get anyone on base. And it's going to be Tony Newman, cleanup hitter, up first.
I don't know if I should mention this, Jordan, but Schmidt has retired the last 7 Kings he's faced.
Last 7 consecutive. And we'll see what Tony Newman has to say about that, as it's a 2-0. Schmidt's getting close to that 100 mark. Actually, not even close, only 74. I figured he was at like 85 or so. Inside, oh, never mind, 2-1.
I think what Schmidt did there is the catcher's mitt was set up outside, and Hunter had to reach way over.
That's why I looked way more in. Instead of a 2-0 count, now it's right back to 2-2. Schmidt's working, and it's a very patient AB from Tony Newman. Now he's got to swing down 2 strikes. Left it inside. He thought about getting that back going, but the count is full. It's much better when CJ has the iPad and we get a pitch count.
Yes, it is.
Really,
and all you got to
enhances
worry
things.
about is he accurate.
Yeah, we should. Right in front of us up here as he pops it sky high in Ross Chris territory and makes the catch. Wasn't sure if it was
looked
going to
like
be
he had
Chris or
trouble
Palmquist.
locating the ball, but Chris was in a good position. Sun wasn't in his way and was able to make the catch easily.
I didn't know the sun was that much of a factor today, but...
Pardon me?
I didn't know the sun was that much of a factor today, but I guess that was our first time really seeing so. Logan Skulik.
It's not a factor for us.
No, not at all. It's beautiful today.
We actually can read the numbers on the scoreboard.
I thought that as well. Usually in the day we have a harder time seeing it, but it's picture perfect out there. Skulik takes ball 1.
We talked about the trouble with the reading the scoreboard because of the sun.
And And oh boy, coming in from left field is Gus Walker at the very last second, relieving Palmquist of his duties.
Well, they're talking, so nobody got hurt. That's a good thing.
No, we saw.
But anyway, this was yesterday afternoon. We were fixing the signs, and Scott said, we could get one of those smaller type scoreboards like they have over at the Field of Dreams and set it up in left field. That way, if you can't read the one scoreboard, you obviously could read the other one.
Can you operate it all at once, though? You probably need two different things.
You could set it up on the same circuit,
system
sure.
and everything. I've never been to the Field of Dreams, but I'm assuming they just have like a simple.
That's right. Where you get off on the highway, you don't see it.
Yeah,
either.
I don't
you
see
drive
it.
by
I'm assuming it's like the simple. It doesn't have the runs per inning.
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
It's just the score, home and away.
And ball strike up top with like the little dots. As this one might drop, but instead it drops in the glove. Zach Risen read it all the way through, and a very quick top half of the 6. All batters retired once again. We'll head to the bottom half. A's still looking for that elusive first lead.
February, into March and April. Same way through. Every single second, every minute, every hour. All the whole year through.
It is intense right here.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's a lot of lemons.
Well, you know what they say when life gives you
We
lemons.
know the saying, Mark.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, Tea Time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
The hope for the A's right now is they get a run or two and get their first lead of the game, and then Schmitz goes up 1-2-3 again in the top half of the 7th, and we don't have to see a bottom half, but that's wishful thinking as the A's have yet to score since the 2nd inning. They had a run in the 1st, had a run in the 2nd, but they have left 6 or so on base since, and it is a 2-2 ball game here in the bottom half of the 6th, and it'll be newcomer Jonathan Kim leading off for Sheboygan.
This part of the order produced a run back in the 2nd inning.
Did.
Kim reached on a base hit, stole second, and then after an out was recorded, Hunter Steger hit that line drive base hit right down the left field line for a stand-up double.
Jeffrey seems to be taking a few extra pitches here in the bottom half. I don't know why it's taking a little bit longer, but it'll be Kim, Jurgensen, and Steger up next. We saw Kim. He's been doing well so far today, and Steger, he got that RBI, obviously, as you said. We were talking about it in one of the breaks before. The bottom half of the lineup, besides Steger, is getting runners on base but not scoring them because they're just stuck on base as the top half is yet to produce the way we know it can. 2-2 ball game, bottom half of the 6th. Here we go. Jeffrey remains in for Kenosha. And Kim takes ball 1 down low.
Well, I mentioned about Kim might be a good candidate to try and bunt his way on, but the third baseman, Knet, was even with the bag on that first pitch. Yeah, got a feeling he's going to sneak in a little bit, a step or two, as Jeffrey makes his pitch, and there you see him.
Jeffrey was not happy with that first pitch being called a ball, and the follow makes it 1-1. It was close, the first pitch, but just didn't go his way. Kim, if you're a new listener, he is a commit to the University of Michigan, so he'll be heading there for his freshman year coming up. Had a beautiful
He could go to University of Wisconsin, but they don't have baseball there.
They don't have baseball. Should we start that discussion now that Bill's here? Kim gets a hold of this one, and it will be another 4-3 ground out, but that speed nearly beat it out. However, Ben Rossi throws it over to Tyler Newman, and it's our first out of the inning. The A's were doing such a good job early in the game getting that leadoff guy on, whether it was a single, a walk, didn't matter. They were getting him on, but now they're stuck with another first at-bat, first out
First
of the
3
inning.
innings, they got the leadoff runner on. The last 3, including here in the 6th, they have not.
Jimmy Jurgensen says he doesn't care about that. He's going to look to break his cold streak is, oh boy.
Yeah, he didn't look good on that swing. Jimmy stepping out, gathering himself, trying to get his thought pattern back. Jimmy's a better hitter than that.
Inside, evens it up at 1. New walk-up song for Jimmy. Going to try and get him out of that slump.
Oh, it's the 6th inning already. We haven't even thrown out our first quiz question.
Oh, my
Better
goodness.
get into that.
What are we doing? Hacks this one into center field. Got a little bit up on it. That ball carrying back, and it drops in front of the wall. He is going to hold up at second, but it's a stand-up off-the-wall double for Jimmy Jorgensen. That ball just kept carrying. There was no end in sight, and Jimmy has a one-out double.
Boy, you know, with the way the wind is
Pinch
blowing,
hitter, yeah.
it really did carry well. Well, let's get this first question out of the way, a Father's Day special. What famous musician and father was 80 years old yesterday? We'll give you the answer after Jacoby Andreas.
Oh, they're going to walk him. So we had a pinch hit walk. Jacoby Andreas came in for Hunter Stager, and they are going to intentionally walk Jacoby Andreas. So all of that unfolding while the trivia question became present. And I also did find it interesting. Stager, sure, not the most important guy in your 8 spot, but he had that RBI earlier. So they took him out. They put Jacoby Andreas in there, and Kenosha, with just 1 out in the inning, they're going to intentionally walk Andreas, which brings up Riley Palmquist. Wow.
It is quite interesting.
There are multiple interesting things about that.
Something may happen in the doubleheader yesterday, too, with Jacoby. But the other thing, maybe it's not such a bad move either. It does set up the double play.
Let me tell you, in that second game yesterday, 7-0 win, Andreas had 4 of those 7 RBIs.
Okay.
So that's what Kenosha knows.
Good speed on at second. Well, medium speed on at second base. Jimmy, is that Jimmy still out there at second base?
Oh, yeah. He'll take a little bit of a lead as it's Palmquist, the 9-hitter, jumping ahead 1-0. We've seen him throw down to second. They don't do it here. And hitting this one into right field. It should be deep enough to send him over to third. And they do. They will be sending Jimmy to third base. So runners on the corners with 2 outs. It's all up to Gus Walker now as the A's are trying to avoid a 3rd inning of leaving 2 runners on base. This the most important of them all.
CJ said the runner on third now is Bennett Becker. Is that right?
Yes, so Bennett Becker. It is not Jimmy.
So they brought in a couple substitutes. Bennett Becker to pinch run.
We were so focused on Andreas, we didn't even realize it's Bennett Becker over there now who moved from second to third. Big AB for Gus Walker. Had the first pitch of the game where he swung and got on with a single. Now hammers this first pitch back into the netting. Falls behind 0-1.
It's been this way the last couple innings, Jordan. The A's have gotten runners on. They need to get a clutch hit.
They do, and that could come from Gus Walker. Very, very high. Chris will be up next if Walker is able to reach, whether they score the run or not. That's also top part of the order. It's a great spot to be for Sheboygan.
Andreas holding tight at the bag at first base.
Gets a little bit late on this one.
Yeah, Walker had a pretty good rip at it, though, but you're right.
2 strikes. Andreas at first base. No chance we see the pickle situation, do we, where they try and send him?
No.
Not the time, not the place. Tie 2-2. And he gets this one. Doesn't get through the infield. Off 2 hops. Fielded cleanly, and it will save Brandon Jeffries. Tie ball game. 2-2 the score remains. We will indeed see a bottom half of the 7th.
To make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
When a Bud Light legend comes back, they do it carrying a squeaky beach chair, an inflatable dolphin, and a cooler full of perfectly chilled Bud Lights on hot sand, wearing only one flip-flop. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. It's time to take summer by the coolers.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. You serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Justin Schnell doing the catching here for Sheboygan as they pulled out Hunter Stager in that pinch runner or pinch hitter situation. Marty, you got the answer to our trivia question. Read it one more time for the fans if they lost it and all that mess.
The question was, what famous musician and father was 80 years old yesterday? The answer is Paul McCartney. We'll have another Father's Day related question for you in game 2.
Hit sky high into left field for Gus Walker. Potentially lose that one in the sun as he goes over his body to make the catch. It's one of those ones where you aren't worried about it getting out of here. You're just worried about it being so high in the air you lose track of it.
We've seen balls dropped in the outfield this year.
So we're seeing Andreas in at
Justin
first.
Snell catching. Jacoby stays in the ball game also, goes to first base. Tim Moyer was going for it in the 6th with those 2 substitutions trying to get that lead run in, but didn't work out.
So now we're guaranteed a bottom half of inning number 7 as the first pitch from Schmitz is in there for a strike. Second pitch, a little over his head, is having to duck behind the plate is Tyler Newman. It's at the 7-8-9 again here in the 7th inning. Good part of the order for Sheboygan to get their crack at. Hit this one back foul into the batter's cage. On the 1-2. Got him.
With a good
Threw
fastball.
a fastball right past Tyler Newman, and this will bring up Ben Rossi.
The way Newman hit that ball back in the 2nd inning, I'm a little leery about saying too much. About 7, 8, 9 in the order, or about the number of batters that Schmidt has retired in a row.
It's all that matters right now for Sheboygan is Schmitz get out of it, and then a walk-off to get the A's out of here in game number 1. First pitch to Rossi, he gets a hold of it, and that will be out. Andres making a move on it, but it bounces over the dugout. Ben Rossi 0 for 4 so far this season. He struck out twice today as Schmidt's strikeouts continue to climb. 8 here in this ball game. And he might be 1 strike away from one more. I mean, besides that first inning where he gave up 4 hits and 2 runs, this has been a typical Eric Schmidt's game.
Yeah, we got a good part of the order for the bottom of the 7th in Chris Stelt and Zach Grisson.
And that only means if it does go 8 innings, we do go to extras, then it's a good part of the order for Kenosha with their top half. 1-2 after that ball goes outside. New catcher calling the signs for Schnell, or for Schmitz, I should say. And he misses high to even it up at 2-2.
Hunter Stager doing a nice job behind the plate while he was in there. Made some good catches, called a good game.
Got him, strike 3 inside. Fooled him, got it in there, and it all comes down to this. The bottom half of inning number 7, the A's have a chance to put it away.
Pick up you can. Just order ahead in the Meyer app.
Me spells
the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Roll out the barrel plays as we're in the 7th inning stretch, and the A's will have a chance to walk it off. It all begins with Ross Christ. It is the heart of the lineup. Christ, Stout, Zach Risen due up for Sheboygan here in the bottom half of the 7th. They have left 8 runners on base in this ball game, including 3 separate innings where runners have been left. 2 runners have been left on base, so it is a struggle getting runners through the plate. Sheboygan scored 7 runs in both of their games yesterday. Today, they're looking to just score 3. 3 will be enough. 1 more run is the magic number to get the A's through with a win and head to Game 2.
Well, we talked a little bit about Schmitty not wanting to say too much until the 7th was over, but Schmitty retired the last 13 batters that he faced. He's up to 9 strikeouts in the game. Hopefully he finishes with 9, and we finish this game here in the 7th.
Ross Christ, this his 5th season with Sheboygan, swing and a miss.
Ross
on
had a
the
good
first
healthy
one.
rip at that fastball.
Chris didn't have any home runs until last year, where he hit 3 times. He went long. Jeffrey remains in there as there's a little blooping foul ball. Jeffrey's pitched himself a 7-hit, 2-run gem so far. From what we know, his best performance of the year. Christ with a .319 career average with Sheboygan. And the pitch stays high to make the count 1-2. Chris Stout, Zach Risen.
I was going to say, Ross, a good walk candidate, too. He's good at working the count.
It's pretty tough to do down 0-2, but it's far from impossible as he hits this one. Will it get through the infield? It will not. And Jeffrey goes to cover first. Did he drop it? No, he didn't. He was able to stay on there. Very, very close play at first. Would have been unfortunate for Kenosha, but they're able to survive. And here comes Harry Stout.
Jeffrey did a great job of getting over there quickly. He didn't navigate the bag very
No,
well.
that's where his footwork came in handy, and it worked against him. Harry Stout, this is his 12th year with the A's. He was the A's MVP last year. That was his 4th MVP, 2012, 2017, where he shared it, and 2018, along with the batting title, was also his 4th, which he won last year. He won that in 2013, 2017, and 2018. All of his averages over .347 in those years that he won it. It is a delayed wait for Harry to get in the batter's box.
Harry steps in with the wind howling out to left now. Probably blowing as hard as it has all game.
Harry also a good walk candidate, as we mentioned with Ross Christ, but Harry, your big power guy that you want to see. Leads the team with 4 home runs. He had 11 home runs last year. A whopping career .328 average coming into this season. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. He wanted it.
Yeah, it was a good pitch by Jeffrey. It looked like a bit of a change-up, and Harry wasn't expecting it.
All the A's fans, good crowd here in attendance today for Game 1 of the doubleheader. Putting their hands in the air as instructed by the music. The 1-1 pitch. Harry hits this one. Should be a rather routine 6-3 ground out. His 2nd one of those today.
Oh, good play by Newman at first.
Yeah,
that ball was in the dirt.
That'll bring up Brady Zach Risen. Comes down to this for Sheboygan. Not that they're out of this game. if they get out, but they don't want to see extra innings. You never want to extend games longer than you have to. This is already game 3 of the weekend. Sure, they have tomorrow off, but why play longer than you have to? It's time for Zach Risen.
We talked about this at the beginning of the game about Brandon Jeffrey and the tough season he's having. He certainly has pitched a fine game here so far.
If we hadn't seen those stats, we wouldn't have known otherwise. We would have thought this is him normally.
Yeah, exactly. So a little credit where credit is due with his pitching also.
Northwood's chemical cleanup hitter is Zach Risen, and he jumps ahead 2-0 in the count. Jacob Neese, big power. Remember the play ball weekend where he had those 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. He was the tournament MVP. They would love to give Neese another crack to show off his power, but it lies in the hands of Zach Risen, and this will be a line out. Throws it over.
Yeah.
It did bounce once, and then he threw it over to make the play. To the 8th inning we go. Time for extras in Sheboygan.
January, February, into March and April. Same way through. Every single second, every minute, every hour. All the whole year through.
It is intense right here.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's a lot of lemons.
Well, you know what they say when life gives you lemons.
We know the saying, Mark.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, Tea Time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Well, we have a new pitcher for Sheboygan. Mike Martin will get the final line for Eric Schmitz as it's number 10, Mac Doherty in the game for Sheboygan. Mac making his 5th appearance of the season. He's given up 2 home runs. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings, given up 8 hits, 10 runs, and it was 6 of those 10 being earned. The big key, though, his strikeout to walk ratio, 3-5. He's walked 2 more batters than he struck out. He's not a strikeout pitcher, and he comes into the ball game, if we look at it, with an 8.52 ERA.
Eric Schmitz, in his time on the mound, went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs. Both of those were earned. He walked no one, struck out 9, and retired the last 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 batters in a row. Hopefully Mac can continue that trend.
It's going to be the top of the lineup. Danny Hahn, Drew Knett, and Riley Hughes all due up here in the top half of the 8th. No, this isn't a 9-inning game. This is extra innings here in a 7-inning doubleheader.
Doherty looking to get on base for his first time in the ball game. He's 0 for 3.
First pitch, a nice curve in there for a strike.
Key thing with Mac Doherty is throwing strikes. If he can do that, he'll be okay.
I believe we saw him in that Burlington game, correct? Did he come in after Coons?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah, for that final bit where it was that 7-3 loss. Didn't do any more damage. He got out of it. We'll check his line.
Pitched 2 scoreless innings, did have a walk, but you're right. Otherwise pitched well.
A ball and a strike here to Hahn. And another one of those curves misses outside. He certainly doesn't have the speed and sense of urgency of a guy like Eric Schmitz on the mound, but he's going to take his time and do all he can to keep this a 2-2 game. He'd be in line for the win if he doesn't give up any runs, and, well, even if he did give up some runs and then the Sheboygan came through in the bottom half.
I was a little surprised Schmitty didn't come out for the 8th
because
I don't think he had that many pitches. I wouldn't think more than 85 or so. But
he was probably. Did you get a final pitch count for Schmitz? Okay, he was probably around the 90 mark. Missed this one. Thankfully, no one on base as it went through the legs of Schnell.
Yeah. Full count, though, to the batter.
It is, and working that pitch count early. Danny Hahn being very patient with Mac. Wasn't aggressive, wasn't attacking him early on. He's making him throw strikes. 92 was the final line for Schmitz.
92, not too bad for Schmitty.
But it was going to be these guys. And will this get through? It will be a good play by Neese. Off a bobble, the throw in time. Got him. Jacob Neese made it look easy, didn't panic.
Yeah.
And even though he kind of threw it up in the air a
hop
bit.
was a short hop. It tricked to fooled him a little bit, but you're right, he hung in there.
He did indeed, and that'll bring up Drew Connett. I was going to say one of the big things maybe that Tim Moyer was thinking is this was going to be the 4th time that the top of the order was going to see Schmitz, and they just saw him not too long ago, so maybe he thought they were going to get to him. I don't know, but the first time this weekend, the A's have had to go to the bullpen with Mac Doherty.
Well, sometimes as a manager, you go up to your pitcher and say, "How you doing? You know, can you go one more?" And I'm not saying that's what happened this time,
never
but
know.
you know, sometimes that's how it goes. You know, he says, "I'm not feeling that good anymore," and then at that point, you do bring in the relief pitcher.
Good first pitch came in for a strike. All the relievers very fresh for Sheboygan. As Mac's next one, it'll be also to Jacob Neese. This time
nice
he's
hop.
able to get it nice and easy. And the throw, did he beat it out? He did! Able to beat out the throw is Drew Connett. He kind of let that ball bounce one more time towards him, and that's an infield single. Double play now out there for Riley Hughes, the designated hitter, the 3-hitter for Kenosha.
You mentioned Hughes with a very healthy batting average coming into the game, and he is 1 for 3 today.
This is the first time, since the 3rd or 4th inning where Kenosha has a runner on base?
Their last base runner was on in the 3rd.
Wow. Hopefully he's not on for too long as Mac looks to get out of it from the stretch. His first pitch misses high and inside for a ball. Someone coming up with the pretzel bites. Those look real good right about now as we try and reach the end of game number 1. Very high pitch. Great job able to catch
Jordan.
it.
You know, it's a tie game. We're in extra innings, and you're worried about food.
I'm worried about food.
Neil, back there.
CJ
and
agrees.
Annalise in the press box with us.
That's what we got to look forward to in between games is the food. Grilled cheese today.
Oh,
good pitch. 2-1. I don't know how you let that one by you, but Riley Hughes does indeed. Nice slow sweeping curve right in front of him, past him, I should say, into
Did we ever talk about that being at a count of 2 balls and no strikes? That's
your favorite count.
And
2
so
and
many
2.
times you see batters let that go.
They're making the pitcher throw a strike. For whatever reason they decide to, and now just like that, it goes from 2-0 to 2-2. Mac got the first out with that ground out over to Neese. Neese unable to make the throw in time on the next one, as this one also coming towards him, but it goes foul.
Yeah, another one to Neese. Been keeping him busy.
Very active, yeah, over at third base here in the 8th inning. Hasn't seen a whole lot of action yet today. The runner at first is Drew Connett. Riley Hughes sits at the plate with a 2-2 count. Mac Doherty in relief. Looking for that ground ball double play, and this isn't going to be it. It's going to get through the infield. Runners on first and second with 1 out. This will bring up Tony Newman, one of the 2 Newmans. They both start with the letter T. This one is Tony.
Interesting line for Tony. He's 1 for 2 in that 3rd at bat. He sacrificed the runners from first and second over to second and third, only to have the runner on 3rd try to score on.
Oh, that was that
and
play.
Was
yes,
thrown out at the plate.
That's the biggest play of the game for Sheboygan defensively so far. Kept this game tied at 2. What could have been a 3-2 lead. Mac from the stretch. There is that beautiful breaking pitch. He is firing on all cylinders with that one so far.
Palmquist staying very close to the bag at second, trying to hold that runner close. It leaves a big hole between the the third baseman and the shortstop.
And that's where that last hit went through. It was right in the gap between them. Base hit could potentially score one. Kenosha now with 8 hits in the ball game. Matt can't worry about who's on base, can't worry about how many outs there are, just got to worry about the next pitch. And that next pitch is a firing fastball high and inside. Hitters count of 2-1 for Tony Newman. Logan Skulik will be up next if he's able.
Double play ball would be nice.
That's what I'm looking for. And this one's hit back into left field, moving back on it and carrying, jumping, and it's going to hit the fence. The runner going to be sent home. Will they send them both is the question. No, they're going to hold him up at third, but it's an RBI double for Tony Newman. And now runners on second and third as Kenosha takes a 3-2 lead. He absolutely hammered it into left field. And now it'll be all up to Logan Skulik. Still 1 out, double play basically out of the question unless they try to send him on a sac fly and the throw beats him there.
It was a long fly ball to left, hit off the wall on the fly. Good recovery by Gus out in left field.
They're going to walk Skulik. Wow, with 1 out, our second intentional walk in the last inning. This will bring up Aaron Schauer.
That's actually a smart move because what it does, it forces, gives you a force out at any base.
Absolutely.
And a chance for a double play.
Tim Moyer with the decision to intentionally walk him, and his decision we saw Kenosha do with Jacoby Andreas coming in to pinch hit.
Plus, Skulig had 2 hits so far. So another reason to maybe walk him.
A lot of smart strategy going into that one, but now Mac Doherty, bases loaded, 1 out, got to work out of the jam. First pitch misses for a ball. It's a modified stretch now, as you aren't going to see that runner steal home. He's
Riley
not Jackie
Hughes
Robinson.
is taking an awfully big lead off a third, just daring the A's catcher to throw down on him.
Saw Kenosha's catcher throw down over to third. Misses again, 2-0. Matt can't let the pressure get to him. It's a 3-2 game, and the A's are struggling, not necessarily to get runners on base, but to get them past third base and send them home. 3-2 lead for Kenosha. And the low pitch is called for a strike.
Mac, in this situation, forced to throw strikes. You got to hope his defense can help out.
Misses this time, and the pitch gets past. Going to hold up at third. Now a little bit slow to go and get it, but Riley Hughes stays put at third base. 3-1. Now the count.
Other than the walk possibility, now that it's 3-1, I'm looking at Riley Palmquist, and he still seems to me to be awfully close to second base, holding that runner, and leaving a big gap.
Meanwhile, look at how much Jacob Neese is in, yeah. Neese is almost towards the grass. Here we go, 3-1. Missed low and outside. A run comes in. It's 4-2. You begin to look at the decision now of Eric Schmitz and if he was going to pitch the 8th or not. And Mac Doherty now facing Mikey Shore.
Shore 0 for 3 in the ball game. CJ playing tragedy after that bases loaded walk.
The count goes to 1-0. Not what you want to think about when you think about Mac Doherty, but you go back, gave up 4 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning in a 9-6 loss to Green Bay back on May 31st.
And he's only got 1/3 of an inning so far here.
Yes, and the base is still loaded, giving up 2 runs so far, and that pitch comes in for a strike. It's all about throwing strikes, not falling behind in the count. That 7-8-9 that Eric Schmitz did so well against in the times he saw him. Mac's next pitch, that good breaking ball, but just missed low. Mikey making him throw strikes. Kenosha, very, very patient approach at the plate, and the times they do pounce on him, it was that big-time hit we saw from Tony Newman into left.
Mikey will be looking for a strike here to hit.
2-1. He got the strike to hit, but didn't swing. Evens up at 2. Shakes his
Matt
head a little bit.
looking at that breaking ball and getting some success with it. Let's see if he comes back with it right here.
Kenosha
throw a
just
strike. It's 2-2 only, but still.
didn't attack him, went outside instead with the fastball. Kenosha just 2-12 in league play, sitting at the bottom.
We can't see if there's anybody warming up in the A's bullpen, but oh boy.
Full count situation here for Mac. Just walked in a run. This time he doesn't, gets the strikeout. That is a big, big K for Mac
Came back
Doherty.
with that breaking ball too, Jordan.
Yes, he did. Tyler Newman now up to the plate. Kenosha 2-12 in league play. Both of their wins come against Addison, a team who is 7-6. They beat them 16-9 and 10-9 back on May 29th. They're up by 2 right now over Sheboygan. Mac just 1 out yet to get. Attacking first pitch, and it's a high foul ball.
Yeah,
Drops back off the net.
Looked like a hittable pitch, but I'm glad he started off with a strike instead of falling behind right away.
Absolutely. Tyler Newman, the 8-hitter here for Kenosha. He's down 0-1. Bases still loaded. 1 out. 4-2 the score. That's the big key here in game 1 of the doubleheader. This one hit up high, and moving on it is Neese. Palmquist will be right behind him. Neese makes the catch, gets out of it, but the A's have their work cut out for them. It's 4-2 as we head to the bottom half of the deciding 8th inning.
Thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Last year's financial year,
Sometimes you need to get out.
The great outdoors.
Free pickup's easy. Just order ahead in the Meyer app.
Bottom half of inning number 8 is Denny reading off the 50-50 raffle. That the most entertaining thing at the ballpark so far. $214 is what's given away here in game number 1 is due to the 50-50 raffle, and we have our winner coming on down. Brandon Jeffrey, number 33, on the bump yet for Kenosha. He pitched the first 7 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs. He's staying in there. A decision Tim Moyer elected not to do with Eric Schmitz. It will be Jeffrey remaining as the pitcher for Kenosha here in game 3 of 4 on the weekend series. The A's won yesterday both of the ball games. They were able to win 7-4 and 7-0. Kenosha looking for their first league win since May 29th. They're coming off some tough losses, 7-0, 7-4, 20-0 loss to West Allis. 14-0 loss, 11-0, 6-5 was the last close one. That was against Burlington on June 12th.
Neese stepping in. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Time for him to get rolling. He coming into the game hitting .222. He's a better hitter than that. Of course, with his 0 for 3 now, it's a little bit lower than that. But
first pitch coming to Neese, and he lets it in there for a strike.
Yeah. Jeffrey has pitched a fine ball game. We talked about him earlier. He's turned a rally. You know, getting that 1 run was bad enough, but then when they got that second one, really
this
made
one
it
will
tough.
get through a leadoff hit. The A's haven't been able to do that in a while, but Jacob Neese starts the rally here in the bottom half of the 8th. The doubleheader here today, only a 7-inning game. We're in extra innings. The A's have to get 2 to keep this one going, or what they can do is score 3, and that'll be all. It's Jonathan Kim up next.
From the 4th inning through the 7th inning, Sheboygan has only collected 2 hits. They did place a couple runners on with walks, one of those being an intentional walk. So this is a welcome sight, having this hit here in the 8th inning to lead it off.
Absolutely. First pitch is in there for a strike. It won't be Jorgensen up next. It'll be Schnell, looks like, in the on-deck circle.
It'll be Schnell. He came in for Bennett Becker, who came in to pinch run for Jimmy back in the 6th inning.
A lot of moving pieces here in the bottom half of the lineup, as that was that 6th inning where the A's left him stranded. 1-1. The count to Jonathan Kim. Would he love to make an impression and send this one deep to tie it up? He won't send it deep. It'll get through. It actually hit in the face. Danny Hahn got it off the jaw, the nose area, and he is hurting out there at short. Off a hop, went to dive for it.
He made a great move to slide over to get in position, and as he went down to pick it up, it took a bad hop, hit him right in the face.
One of those situations really hard to avoid. He tried his best to make a good play on it, and he's out there for now. Really, his only play would have been at second anyways. That would have been a very tough throw over to first. As we'll step aside momentarily.
Tim, okay.
All right, you got an attendance figure for us, huh?
Scott Stengel coming up, giving us the attendance in the house. A very fine Sunday crowd of 326.
Biggest of the year, I think.
Paid for this ball game, 404. So
that's the number we want here.
You guys that are out there watching this game could be here.
Should be here.
Yeah, they should be here, is right.
Give the A's a little bit of a late rally, as it's Justin Schnell, number 28, came into this game. A lot of substitutions moving on.
Good news, I think Hahn has stayed in the ball game.
Yes, he has.
So hopefully he'll be okay. In the long run, it goes as a base hit for Kim, and Sheboygan has the leadoff runner, 2 leadoff hitters up.
Very interesting base hit, but one nonetheless. And yeah, that's the big key here. 2 on, no out for Schnell, and it'll be Andreas up next. Had 4 RBIs in yesterday's second game, a player that Kenosha elected not to throw to in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They could do a similar thing if we see maybe Schnell get out and then there's 1 out and they might load the bases. You never know.
Schnell is up. He's hitting .318 on the season.
Pinch hit situation. He's had a lot of time to get loose and think about it as he takes a strike outside. Jeffrey also got to rest his arm during all of that, but maybe that isn't the best thing for him. Maybe you just want to stay fresh and keep throwing.
You know, sometimes what the pitchers will do in a delay like that is they'll throw a couple warm-up pitches with their catcher in the interim while they're working out whatever the problem is. He did not this time. He just waited it out. Was more concerned about his teammate, which was nice.
Which is a good thing to see, absolutely. They're going to have a few players warming up for Kenosha back there. We'll keep an eye on those numbers as this one is hit foul. Players running back to try and get a hold of it. They are unable to do so.
Way out of play.
I saw number 27 for Kenosha down there. We'll see if anyone else is in a situation where they have to come into this game. It's a 1-2 count to Schnell. Andreas up next.
Sam Strash.
Okay.
Only pitched 4 2/3 innings.
But he is a pitcher. And Schnell leaves it up high for 2-2.
Yeah, good take by Justin.
Not going to do a whole lot with that high pitch. So it's a 2-2 count. Runners on first and second. No one out. The A's down by 2. This is it here in the bottom half of the 8th. Leaves it outside. Full count.
We don't have a... Do you have a pitch count on Jeffrey?
All right.
You have to give it to us later, but you got to imagine his pitch count is way up there, over 100.
North of 100 for sure. Full count. First and second, no one out. Hammers this one over to right field, but got ahead of it, and that'll be into 8th Street.
That's out on New Jersey Avenue. If he could hit it out to 8th Street, Jordan, that'd be about 2 miles or maybe a mile and a half away. That'd be great because then we'd be all happy. It'd be
That's where we want
win.
it. Full count once again. A's fans getting behind Schnell. Was early on a fastball, late on this one.
Yeah, it's good though. He's making Jeffrey work.
He's adjusting as well as he kind of hammered that one on the bottom half of his bat. Full count. Jeffrey's pitch count continue to rise. His frustration, his nerves begin to grow. Part 3 of the full count. Schnell, the lefty, gets a hold of it towards the first baseline and foul. Few
Justin
hops
making
past.
him work for sure.
This is what you like to see in a position like this, an absolute battle. Schnell's the game-winning, go-ahead run, however you want to put it. That's him at the plate. Wind continues to blow heavy into left field. This time he gets it
through.
And it's going to go off the glove. Schnell tries to beat it. He does. The base is loaded. No one is out for Jacoby Andreas. And the thought to intentionally walk him goes out the window. No outs. Base is loaded. A's down by 2.
Infield single for Schnell. It would have been a tough play for Newman, even if he picks it up. So give him a hit. And Sheboygan has started out the 8th inning, Jordan, with 3 straight singles.
They have been doing a phenomenal job. One of them, that injury single, but good that Hahn stays in the game. Andreas, this is 3rd year with the squad. The Sheboygan Falls native has 3 career home runs, but 34 career RBIs. 22 of those 34 came last year. First pitch to Andreas, outside, but a strike is called. Andreas batted .316 last year, and then in 2020 batted .311. So his average is very consistent, north of 300. Second pitch, gets a hold of it, and that's going to drop. There's no one there. A run comes in, and they're going to hold up the second runner at third. The A's are within 1.
Now let me go into my coaching mode for just a second. On the good side, Tim Moyer holding up the runner at third. On the bad side, Jeffrey, the pitcher, was just standing on the mound, didn't get into position. If that ball skips by Shore, and he did have to short hop it on the throw from the outfield, another run would have scored. But as it is, nobody out and the bases remain loaded and a run in.
And look at how shallow the infield is playing to Riley Palmquist. It's a 4-3 game here in extra innings. Still no one out. Palmquist with a chance to put this game away. First pitch comes to him, and it just missed. That was basically called a strike to Andreas, but now called a ball.
Jeffrey really barking at the umpire, and I thought it was outside.
I did as well.
I think Jeffrey ought to concentrate on throwing strikes,
That's
not
what he
worrying
needs
about
to
the
do
umpiring.
right now in the 8th inning. A 1-5 record on the year. This hit goes double play ball. They're going to throw home. Can they throw over to first? It's too late. They get the force at home, so there is an out in the inning. However, Palmquist is able to reach on a fielder's choice, and this brings up Gus Walker and the top of the lineup for Sheboygan. Walker, another lefty for the Sheboygan offense. There is an out in the inning. That's the big key. Double play in question.
Mikey Shore tried to throw the runner Palmquist out at first. I thought that was actually not a very good decision.
It was a low throw, too, so
yeah, that's the other point. It wasn't.
You got to be very, very smart. First pitch to Walker. He hammers it back foul. He has been aggressive on the first pitch all day long.
Yeah, you remembered that first at bat back in the first inning.
This is 5th time seeing Brandon Jeffrey. If there's ever a time to get to him, it's now. 4-3 ball game, 1 out. Bases loaded.
Schnell on at third.
Walker hits
Andreas
this one
is
back
at
foul as
second,
well.
And Palmquist is on at first.
0-2 now. Walker falls behind. 104? 104 pitches for Jeffrey, so a little lower than we expected, but still right about that 100 pitch mark.
You know, actually, when we brought it up, he probably was not at 100.
Yeah, he probably wasn't even at 100 yet. Gus Walker down 0-2. Game on the line in this inning for Sheboygan. Outside. Will it get through the infield? It does. 1 run comes in, sending the second, and he doesn't even need a dive. He is safe, and it's a walk-off single for Gus Walker as the Sheboygan A's go on top. The Kenosha Kings 5-4. They're 3 games above 500 overall and are just 2 games below 500 in state league play. Another come-from-behind win for Sheboygan.
One of the things that you run into as a disadvantage to playing your infield in is that those kinds of hits have a tendency to slip by your infielders because you're not in the normal position you'd like to be in. So everything worked out for Sheboygan. They come away with a 5-4 win.
5-4, big win for Sheboygan. Mac Doherty actually gets the win. Gave up 2 runs in the top half of the 8th, but comes out with a win. Brandon Jeffrey falls to 1-6 on the year with a loss as it all goes down to a 3-run 8th inning for Sheboygan. We'll be back in about 20 minutes or so for Game 2, Game 4 of the weekend between these two teams. For Mike Martin, I'm Jordan Lorenz saying so long, everybody.